It is 1 p.m. in Nairobi, Kenya. Good afternoon. This is the Weekend at 1. My name is Michelle Ngele. The long-time Kisumu Rural Member of Parliament and Cabinet Minister in the KANU government, Wilson Ndoyo Aya, will be buried today at his home in Seme, Kisumu County. Our reporter Victor Ogale is there, now joins us on phone. Victor, what can you tell us from there?
Michelle, indeed, a few moments ago, colleague Raila Odinga, accompanied by Senator James Orengo, just touched base here, accompanied by other ODM leaders, and indeed, as much as this is a burial ceremony, politics is expected to hit fever pitch here, and of course, top of the agenda, we expect the IBC code row to hit headlines here.
All right, and Victor, we understand that most of the activities will be taking place in the afternoon. What should we expect?
Yeah, apart from politics, we also expect other leaders from ODM to also eulogize a man who's a leader in Nyanza and the massive Nyanza for a long time. And just to put in the know, some of the leaders who are here include Fred Outos, the MP from Nyando, governors from Kisumu, Siaya, Oliecho, Wenyi, who's a Kisumu West Member of Parliament. There is Dr. Mark Kombewa and Jeff Nikal, who's the current Member of Parliament of Seme, where we are currently here.
All right, thank you very much, Victor Gale, there updating us on the burial of Wilson Ndolo, who will be buried later this afternoon. Quad leader Raila Odinga is already in Seme for that burial. Let the world know that our faith is one of peace, brotherhood and good neighborliness. That is the message coming from Muslim leaders currently speaking at the 3rd International Islamic Conference underway at Nairobi's KICC. The 3-day conference, which began this morning, aims at promoting better understanding among Muslims and people of other faiths on what Islam is all about.
Please, let's come together. Let's have one strong synergy that can speak without any fear of contradiction for the Muslim Ummah in our country. Those of us who are in leadership, our obligation is one and simple. We are not in parliament, we are not in leadership just to go there and earn salary on behalf of our families. We are there as we be part of building the nation called Kenya. We are there to make sure that we also take care on the social, political, and economic interests of the Muslim Ummah. And I finally conclude, I want to make it categorically very, very clear that as a leader of majority, who the Constitution has mandated him to sign all bills, whether government, and to take part in private members' bill, that during my tenure, I will make sure that no legislation that is detrimental to the Muslim Ummah will be signed into law. That I have done for the last 3 years, and inshallah, I will do it as long as I sit in that.
Preparations for the official launch of Senator Moses Wetangula's presidential bid are in top gear for the ceremony slated for next Saturday in Kakamega. Kakamega Senator Boni Halwale led a delegation of members of county assemblies from across the political divide on a familiarization tour of the historic Muliro Gardens, the venue of the launch. He, however, downplayed the resistance by Governor Wycliffe Oparanya that has characterized the launch, terming it as a mere misunderstanding.
Yeah. Met with Tangula this morning.
Mimi kama seneta wa Kakamega ningependa kumhakikisha kwamba zile vitisho kidogo kidogo ambavyo mlikuwa mkisikia ilikuwa kwa sababu ofisi ya governor haikuwa na habari kamili. Kama wangengoja wapate habari kamili kutoka Nairobi, kwa maana hii arrangement inatoka Nairobi, pengine hawangekuwa wanatoa zile complaints. Position ni kwamba event ambayo iko hapa ni event ya kulaunch presidential bid ya Senator Moses Wetangula ambaye ni senator wa Bungoma. na hiyo event ni event ya chama cha Ford Kenya, na vile wananchi wanaelewa Ford Kenya iko katika code pamoja na na ODM na Wiper. Kwa hivyo hiyo ni siku ambayo wana Wiper wataongozwa na Honorable Kalonzo Musyoka watakuwa hapa kama wageni wa Ford Kenya.
Kenya's Deputy President William Ruto has embarked on a whirlwind tour of 3 counties in one day. The Deputy President is today visiting the cereals depot in Bungoma County, the cereals depot in Eldoret, and the Mumias Sugar Factory in Kakamega. KTN's Robert Wanyonyi is right now at the Bungoma cereals depot, from where he now joins us live on phone. Robert, what should we expect from this visit by Ruto in Bungoma?
Thank you very much. What we expect is that there has been some issues. Farmers have been raising matters pertaining to the storage of their grains here at the Bungoma Cereals Board, and also with some claiming that the way the grains are being stored is outdated, and we see some grains have gone to spoil. And then the others are saying that maybe the way they are being served here is not up to the standards that that are required. So the surprise visit that is expected by the DP in the next few minutes maybe is aimed at unearthing or maybe finding out these allegations that have been leveled against the management of the cereals board here in Bungoma and other issues.
All right. And if you've been able to speak to the residents there, what do they make of this visit by the Deputy President?
The residents see the visit as a welcome relief because they say they have raised these matters to the management and even through the media in previous days, but it seems nothing has happened. And if you can remember very well, last week a section of farmers almost rioted here, right here at the cereals board, after they say that they found several bags of maize had already gotten rotten. And then they raised the matter with the management, and it seems that the management says they don't have the new equipment, the modern equipment for storage and also drying of the grains. So it almost generated an issue until the farmers almost demonstrated. Now they say with the Deputy President coming, maybe he will ascertain the issue and also find out for himself as regards the way this cereals board is being managed.
Right, Robert. And what are some of the issues that the Deputy President is seeking to address in this tour?
The issues that he seeks to address first is about the agricultural sector. You know, like now, in a few minutes, he's in Mumias, whereby the issue of management also at that sugar factory is a matter that the national government had to intervene last year severally to pull out the company from a financial problem. And also ensure maybe he wants to find out whether the farmers have been paid as to the money that was given out by the national government, and also looking at the cereals board here in Bungoma, the issue of maize storage, the fertilizer. Now that is these are planting season, and now they want to know maybe if the farmers are getting the fertilizer from the government, the one that was given at the right price, or maybe they are being sold at a higher price. Those are the issues maybe you want to find out. That's basically agriculture.
All right, and Robert, before I let you go, I understand that the management at the Bungoma Cereals Depot did not have information that the Deputy President would be visiting. How did they react to that visit?
In fact, they have been informed about the visit by the KTN crew. After we arrived here, we found only the acting manager who was here, and a skeleton staff of like two workers who are here. And when I told them that who they were expecting, they say they were expecting the MD of Cereals Board, who called in the morning to say he will be passing by. But when they learned that the DP is also on the entourage, then now it's a heightened activity. They are trying to clean up the offices, and maybe even drinking water alone is not even there. They have gone to buy. It's like they were not expecting anything. So they are still in surprise and shock as to the actual state of the visit. So the matter is just like that. They were not expecting a big the DP in this place.
All right, thank you very much. That is Robert Wanyonyi reporting from the cereals depot in Bungoma, where Deputy President William Ruto is currently visiting on his tour of 3 counties in one day. We'll be bringing you more on that in our subsequent bulletin. Now, police officers at the Longonot police post narrowly escaped with their lives after an electrical fault caused a fire that gutted down everything. 6 guns, 400 rounds of ammunition and communication equipment were destroyed during the incident last night. The intense fire spread to 3 nearby wooden houses, also burning them to the ground. Witnesses say the lack of a proper fire engine and water made extinguishing the fire nearly impossible. No casualties have been reported.
Tukaitwa ati polisi inachomeka. Sisi kujua ni nini ili happen cause tulikuja tukapata inaporomoka. Sasa hapo pale hivyo kwa nini tulikuta ishaanguka. Sasa sisi tukasaidia hao kuzima hiyo moto, lakini haikuzimika kabisa.
Kitu saa 8:30 hivi tulisikia duru, tukatoka, tukakuta ni moto unaendelea. Ulianzia kwa ofisi, baadaye kwa taba mpaka kwa nyumba 3 za polisi, za maafisa wa polisi. Kwa hivyo yakawa manyumba 3 yamechomeka na ofisi, na hakuna kitu kiliweza kuokolewa. Igawa hakuna majeruhi yoyote, tuliweza kuokoa watoto na pia maafisa waliokuwa ndani, hakuna hata mmoja aliyejeruhiwa na mkasa huo. And it was terrible. Ilikuwa baya.
Now, 15 years ago today, Kenya woke up to news of a dormitory tragedy at the heart of Machakos. 67 schoolboys died in a fierce fire that left their parents devastated. On the 3rd of this month, the High Court ordered the government to pay parents a compensation of 41 million shillings. Was this justice served? Tonight, KTN's Mashirima Kapombe brings you a special feature 15 years later that looks at the plight of the Changuli boys' parents, whose sons would today be grown-up citizens building the nation. Here's a sneak preview of that special feature.
Night. And now at last, justice has been served. Or has it?
Siku ya leo nashukuru kwa vile tumefikia mwisho.
Kushukuru serikali na sana kodi ya Kenya kwa kuamua turudishiwe kitu kwa watoto wetu wale ambao walituacha bila kuagana.
Ilifanya wazazi hata akili haribike.
Asa huyo wangu kama angekuwa hai, sasa angekuwa mtu mzima, mtu mwenye watoto, sasa ningekuwa nyanya watoto.
Wewe wa mtu huwezi linganishwa na pesa.
Kenya is set to go back to the drawing board after Uganda turns her eyes on Tanzania oil pipeline route at Kipsigis Girls High School in Kericho County. Energy Cabinet Secretary Charles Keter said his team is on a fact-finding trip in Lokichar, Koima, and then in Lake Albert in Uganda. Keter will also go to Uganda and hold discussions on the agreed pipeline route.
On Monday, we are going Lokichar all the way to Hoima. Then we come through Lake Albert, all the way checking the route for a crude oil pipeline. So I'm engaged on a very difficult job, and but I know we'll make it. We'll make it so that in the next 1 week, we will be in Uganda to make a decision on where the pipeline route will pass.
You're watching The Weekend X at 1. I beg your pardon. Let's take a short commercial break. We'll be back with more news. To The Weekend at 1. My name is Michelle Ngele. One man in Kajiado's Ongata Rongai has defied the odds by venturing into the building of rudimentary rockets. He believes he will go down in history as the man who built Kenya's first locally made rocket. He told his story and showed his gadgets to KTN's Nicholas Wambua. Take a look.
In Ongata Rongai, Kajiado County, we meet Eugene Awimbo, a man who has been taking the idiom, "It's not rocket science," quite literally. In his backyard we find this machine which Eugene says is a rocket he is yet to finish building. He ventured into the uncharted territory, at least by Kenyan standards, of rocket building 9 years ago, and has had to deal with reservations even from his neighbors who believe that Eugene, who has no university education, does fit the bill of rocket scientist. But he says he has what it takes and is seeking to book himself a place in history books by being the first Kenyan and first African to build a rocket.
Not anyone can make, but because I was very determined, I started building a small 1-foot rocket and stuffing them with black powder. So black powder is ground charcoal and potassium nitrate. So during test they used to work, and this one gave me more interest in trying to build even bigger rockets.
To Eugene, building rockets is not just about putting together metal pieces and wires. It's a passion he developed years ago.
Even countries which are able, like the US, can take maybe decades to put even a cat on Mars, leave alone a human being, because there are many logistics involved.
From missiles and spacecrafts to aircrafts, rockets have been around for centuries, with the first gunpowder-powered rocket built in China in the 13th century. But since then, rocket science has evolved, with the spacecraft Apollo 11 landing the first man, Neil Armstrong, on the moon in the year 1969. Now rockets are used for, among other things, science and research, spaceflight to military warfare. Too far-fetched for Eugene, but he is out to make sure his liquid-fueled rockets leave a mark in rocket building history. All rocket scientists are madmen, and Eugene Awimbo is just but an example of such. He says that in 6 months he can make a fully operational rocket. This is with the help of the government.
We have mad people who think negatively. They are very brilliant scientifically, yes, but they build rockets to kill people. Yeah, and me, I build rocket to do a research on this affordable fuel, and also for hobby.
Eugene's liquid-fueled rocket is thrusted by pressure exerted in liquid. We take a practical lesson on his science of rocket building. These modified bottles are filled with pressure. And when it's enough, the pressure thrusts the rocket into the air.
So there's a difference between a high pressure propulsion system that uses water and soap, the one I've just shown you, and with the combustive rocket, that is the pyrotechnic rocket. So pyrotechnic rocket requires a lot of money to buy chemicals, to do the stuffing, to make sure you build it under very controlled conditions, because any slight external force can make it go off before you launch it.
He has spent over 40,000 shillings to come up with what he calls an earthquake rocket, with a standard giant rocket estimated to cost upwards of $500 million. Finances stand in the way of his dreams to build a powerful rocket.
Because with good resources, I assure you I can field a rocket that can go very far, either to space or deliver anything around regionally.
He is hoping that the government's youth empowerment program will enable him further pursue his venture.
And if the government is interested, they can hire me to build them a very affordable rocket, very safe.
Eugene may not have set foot in any science laboratory, but he believes his dreams are valid. Nicholas Ombo for KTN News from Ongata Rongai, Kajiado County.
And that's all we have for you on the Weekend at 1. Thank you so much for staying with us. On behalf of the entire team, do have a good afternoon. My name is Michelle Ngele.